Welcome back, fellow stackers. Silver Gold Man here with another edition of Silver Gold and much more. Today's date, Wednesday, January 14th, 2014. Okay, so if you haven't seen this video yet, oh boy, did I ever nail that. They're just going to be spinning here. Spinning. So, as I said, the gloves are off. Watch out, Stratford and the rest of you corrupt motherfuckers. Connecting Dots is here to connect some dots for these poor souls out here that don't have the time, nor the energy, nor the foresight, nor the experience on YouTube to know all you corrupt people and what you do here. So basically, someone was asking some of my reputation, what I've done here. I've gone back 3 months ago. This is a brand new YouTube channel. I'm roughly only 3 months old. But basically, if you go watch this video here, not only have I predicted again the drop in Bitcoins, what's the price again today here? Let's just $198, okay, and well, as you can see here, she's not beaten support, and that's going to be your lesson today here, folks. Support and resistance. Okay, going back here in this video here, roughly, well, you'll find out who these pumpers and dumpers, or I should say some of them, because there's many here agents on YouTube, but you'll also get to see here some of my past track record on YouTube as far as the silver and gold community, more specifically silver, and some of the failures by many of these people here on YouTube. Now, is all my evidence there? Heck no, I got a lot more than that. I'll have to go over to realistnews.net, where I was banned from there again for predicting the exact price of the rise in 2012. I called the low at 26.80 at silver in 2012, and then several weeks later, when we're at $27, $27.50, I put a chart up at Realist News. I'll prove all this stuff. I'm gonna open up a thread here at connectingdots1.com. You can see it right there where it says Silver Gold Info. Once you get there, there'll be a link to trading penny stocks, and in that link I'll put a link up specifically to everything that I'm saying here, so people can see that even back in 2012, one of the last 2012 forums, it's still up there. My words are still posted, where I was warning people 6 months before the 2008 stock market crash, telling them get out, they're crashing it in September. So people are out here trying to trash me, and it's going to fail because I got all my paperwork to back me up, and I'll post it all there for those of you who want to carry along and follow what I do. Next. Okay, so again, the lesson here is support and resistance. So I'll come back and check by the time I'm done this video. I have a feeling silver here because I see Head and Shoulders, and she couldn't break the previous high. She'll probably be lower by the end of the video. So as I said, I am breaking highs and breaking lows. I broke my neck in late 2011, my C6, C5, C4. My physical silver is what saved my ass because there was no one else there to help me. So if you're in that situation, that's what storing your wealth is all about. But if you're stacking something, you want to get informed, right? It's always about knowing your asset. You don't just go throw your money foolishly, right? Well, if not, hang tight. This is where it comes important to connect your dots and listen to people like me rather than pumper and dumpers. Now, the good thing about the pumpers and the dumpers is, well, they're your cheerleading club kind of thing. You can kind of, like, as I mentioned here, I knew that silver was going lower. Why? Because they're all pumping it up more than ever. So, you know, their chart people can see what I'm seeing, and they're like, oh boy, let's sell more silver now. So as it's going lower, they're selling. Now it's a new low. Now's a good time. It's 17. It's in, you know. So nonetheless, I want to make money, and since I know that all these people out here are basically cheerleaders for the penny stocks, why not subscribe to them? And they're going to tell me what symbols that they're promoting that specific day. And as you can see, the emails, and that this is just a few of them. There's many different companies out there. Okay, I just went out a couple of times for a few minutes, and this is what I subscribed to, and I actually deleted some of them because they were simply out trying to sell me a membership. You know, send me $49 and I'll tell you my top 5 picks. So I'm going to jump into it to just one person here, and I'm not promoting top stocks. Don't take it that way. I'm simply showing you this is the type of typically what you get in an email in one of those that I showed right here, okay? This is typically what you get. Not all the time. I'd probably say this is one of the better ones where he's got a whole lot of stock symbols. So that can be misleading also, and that's where I'm going to help you here with some of the basic indicators I've learned. Now, just you know, oddly enough, and I didn't have this chart, I should say, this email this morning. I came onto this afterwards, but I found this because I don't know any of these symbols, and that's what I'm doing. I'm subscribing to all these different stock promoters, and they're sending out these notices, but I never got around to it this morning because of the Jeff Palco thing, which is another topic I cover here on YouTube. But regardless, the fact is, the other way I've been finding these symbols is by doing my top percentage gainers. As soon as the bell goes off in the morning, ding, 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 I'm on there right there, and I'm watching which stocks are going up the most percentage-wise. And from there, I drag their symbol, go through in the chart, add all my indicators, and that's what I'm about to share with you. And oddly enough, this one here, Zio-Farm, this morning was up at a high. I think it was 60%, closed roughly 55% high. Not bad. One day. So that's exactly why I want to play the penny stocks, because there's a lot of money to be made if you know your charts and if you're listening to what? Well, your cheerleading crowd, right? Remember, yeah, this is your paid publicity out there, so it's up to you to ride the wave and cash out on the way back down, right? That's right, you're cashing out. We're selling, and what? These guys, the pumpers, have been pumping it nonstop. Remember, there's people that are level-headed, make good calls, and the rest of them, they just pump, pump, pump. So I kind of became famous here in 2009, 2010, especially in June 22nd, 2010, where I said, hey folks, if you haven't bought your physical silver, go out there now, because she's about to pop. And boy, did she ever pop, you know. It was roughly about a month and a half or a month and a week after I made that last video. And she rode up there in 2011 here. Some of you may recall where the first week of January 2011, we had several YouTubers, well-known, Stellar Concepts, what's his name? David Morgan, which is the silverinvestors.com, came out saying that silver was going to drop to $25 an ounce. Can you imagine that? I couldn't believe it. Right after Christmas, the first couple of weeks of January, they're saying it's going to drop down to $25 an ounce. So I launched, you know, a couple of days after I heard both of these guys making that kind of ridiculous call, I launched a $200 bet here that silver would not see $25 an ounce. Boy, did they ever eat their shorts. We took off to 49. So again, downward trend, very important here. You're getting into an asset. Pay attention to the leading indicators. Now I'm going over to another stock chart, and I'm going to quickly go over some of the charts here, or some of the indicators with you, and I'm going to give you a heads up. This is a great place, stockcharts.com, free charts. If you're going to try and check out some of the stuff that I'm going to show you tonight, and I'm sure there's many of you listening and saying, no, I know a lot more than you, and that's great. Remember, I'm fresh at this kind of stuff, but it doesn't matter. I've got some great calls on my belt. Now I want to do a proof of concept, and that's why I'm doing this. I got a simulator trading account. I track down these symbols that all these different penny stock pumpers are putting out, run them through my gamma of indicators, and make my choices thereafter. What can I say? So far, so good. Will I be batting, you know, home runs all the time? I don't know. So first indicator is called the RSI, Relative Strength Index. Do I know every single detail about it? No, doesn't matter. Here's the important stuff. The dotted line, when anything's crossing the dotted line, means we're heading towards a bullish territory. Doesn't mean you're going to take off. Just means it's bullish. As you can see, even for evidence right here, as we went over that dotted line, look down below. Yeah, we went up all right, but thereafter it died down. And that's important. If you look at that line, you can see it's also angled down ever so slightly, and that's extremely important here. Okay, you can see that little gap there, and that's important, folks, because as you can see it here, it's also angling downwards. Okay, the angle is going down. Now, I'm not going to go over every aspect of it, but when you're crossing over that dotted line, it usually means you're going into bullish territory, and anything below it, it's bearish, especially 30. As you can see here, that's where you get this discoloration. That's extremely bearish. It's time to jump out of it, and as you can see here, the colors correspond with the price down below. So, next thing is the volume here. The red bars, they're selling, the black, they're buying, and that's just the overall average of that day, what went on. So you look up above the bar, as you can see here, we have a nice rise up in price, but shortly thereafter, it didn't matter, we're back down. Now, the other indicator is this green band here on the bottom and on the top. It's called a Bollinger Band, but I don't rely on that too much. But what I do pay attention is when I see a stock here where the bands are narrowing down, right? I don't see this top portion, this action here. I'm looking at it from this perspective, so I can see the bands here. We've hit a low. We're starting to pick back up. The bands are starting to narrowing in and more, and that's a good indicator that something's going to happen. Could be an up, could be a low. Pay attention to the stock because something's going to happen. So she went down. Okay, as you can see here, we've gone up a little bit. It could indicate a bullish move, but as you can see here, it doesn't always necessarily mean that's the case. Now what's important here, as you can see on this day of trading, we hit that high of 1735. Over here you're looking at that 1766, 1772 with a low of 1702. So that same range just above where we are right now. So what was originally support on our way back down, where we consolidated, has suddenly become resistance on our way back up here, trying to break out there. And I don't feel bullish right now because, as you can see here, we only hit 1722, not today but yesterday. Also another important thing to pay attention is the fact that the volume here is not very strong. If you just look back a little while back when we're at that 1587. See how we had a lot more buyers in there. It's weak right now. Seriously, I'm sorry, but next indicator is called the MACD. Again, I'm not going to get into the specifics here. It's rather about what you have to look for with these indicators. So every time the black line drops below the red, that usually means the price is going to drop. Well, of course it does, as you can see here. And when the black line crosses above the red, it's the opposite. You usually have a change in price and it's going upwards. Doesn't mean it's going to take off to the moon, just means it's going to change in a different direction from where it was. So we went from a low to an up, and then we cross back down. As you can see, the black line drops, and so does the price. And also, as you may notice, the more the angle downwards, the more of a deeper price drop you get, and that's very important here because, as you may notice, it's also on the way back up. When the angle kind of flattens out, watch out, we're having a change here, and that's what happened. She crossed over, we had that drop back down. So pick back up the following day, but it didn't matter. As you can see, the black and the red are very close. So as a trader, you're not making a choice at that point if you should buy it. It's not bullish enough. And also remember the bands here. There's not enough of a tightening. If you look back here, that's what I consider a real tight consolidation, and look for some real action. Right now, we're just bouncing around here in this area, not really showing me a clear picture of where she's going right now. Okay, also, my next indicator is called the full stochastic. Now, I'm not going to get into the details, and I can also change some of the arrangements here, but I'm not going to get into that, and I haven't really changed these. These are the natural default settings that you get when you do a full stochastic on any chart normally. Okay. So same here, the exact same lesson as above, except the full stochastic has a tendency to give you a quicker indication of a price change before the MACD does. And you can see this is evident right here. MACD didn't change over to this point, but down below, the full stochastic had already done a changeover. Same thing as up above here. It took a while, but the stochastic had already showed you, watch out folks, there's going to be a changeover. Okay, so again, the lines don't necessarily indicate just how big it is, but it's an indicator that something's going to change. And as you look up here, look at this is not bullish at this point. This is the reason why at this point here I have a feeling we might see a little bit more consolidation in the same band area, but as you can see here, the black is crossing over the red. So will it just skin it like we have here and similar to here? That's a possibility, but you know, that again, looking up, that didn't mean that it took off. In fact, we went down thereafter. So until I see some little more proof and evidence that this baby is going to go, I'm remaining bearish at this point, and that's simply because of long-term trends. Remember, that's very important. So if you want to jump in right now, that's up to you. As I said, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not a registered financial anything. I'm simply a passionate stacker with a long track record of predicting the stocks and the stock market crash and many others. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, and again, at connectingdots1.com, that's where everything will be.